Right guys, it is 1 week on from the end of the challenge and I thought I'd share with you some of the lessons that I learned from running every day for 31 days and adding a mile on every one of those days. God, it was hard. So, for those of you that don't know, this was the Run the Date challenge, and that is where you run the date. No, I'll explain that better now. So the challenge basically starts on day 1. You run 1 mile, day 2, 2 miles, day 3, 3 miles, etc, etc, etc. You basically add a mile each day for every day of the month. So I did it in March, 31 days, so that's 496 miles. The last day ending with a 31 mile run. So the last week was just over 6 marathons in 6 days. And as someone that used to do 10k as a long run, and before December had only ever done 2 half marathons, this was hard. This challenge was difficult and it threw up a lot of obstacles that I had to overcome. By far the toughest thing I've ever done, but that's why I did it, because it wouldn't have been a challenge then, would it? And with those challenges came a lot of lessons. So there's 4 key lessons that I'm going to go through, and I'll run through them week by week as well, give you a bit more context to each week, how it went, what I was feeling, and yeah, hopefully you enjoy it. And if not, oh well, I tried. You can't win them all. So let's go back to week 1. So the 1st of March was actually a Friday, so I'm going to class week 1 as the first 10 days. So it's from Friday the 1st to Sunday the 10th, just because it makes it easier to talk about it that way. So the first 10 days was 55 miles. I'm going to put the little Strava graphs on here. It will say like the something of February to the 3rd of March, 15 miles, but you know, the first 3 days was 6 miles plus 49 miles of the 4th of the 10th. So 55 miles. You know, I'm not that bad at maths, although I did fail it at A level. I got 3 U's, but that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. Because guess what? We can run marathons now, so who gives a fuck? Those first 10 days were fine. No day was nothing I hadn't done before. And that brings us on to the first lesson. Don't undervalue preparation. Let's go back to the date that I decided to do this challenge. December 16th. That's a lie. I don't remember the date that I decided to do this challenge. In other documentaries, there just seems to be a starting date, and I felt a bit lost not having one. So we're going to treat it as December 16th. All right, cool. Just accept it, move on. It doesn't really matter, because in December, I didn't really do anything. The prep really started in January. So on the 4th of January, I did my longest ever run, which was 15 miles. And that was painful. I remember when I finished it, I just crawled upstairs and fell asleep on the floor for like 45 minutes because I was shattered. And that amount of mileage was the halfway point for March. So, you know, if I didn't get used to it, it would have been bad. So what I did was I started upping the mileage each week from there. I was aiming for around 40 to 70 miles a week, slowly building up to 70, 80 miles a week towards the middle of February. And on a Saturday, that was my long run. So I'd do anywhere north of 15 miles just to try and get used to running for that long at one time. The end of January, I did my first marathon, which kind of took away from the specialness of a marathon, because most people's first marathon is an event and they get a medal. My first marathon was at 6:30 on a Saturday morning, just running around Nottingham. So I'd done my first marathon and then just, you know, carried on with my day. Went shopping. I think I went to Dunelm. I love Dunelm. It's a great shop. So yeah, the main focus of January and February was just building up the mileage each week, getting used to longer runs. In February, I started mainly focusing on doing 2 long runs back to back. So Saturday, maybe 16, Sunday, 15. Something like that, instead of doing all of the miles on a Saturday morning and doing nothing on a Sunday. In those months as well, I was running pretty much every day, just getting used to being out and about and, you know, getting my feet used to it. Is that a thing? Getting your feet used to it? Oh well, I don't know. They got used to it, so maybe. Other than running, another big point was gym work. So I went from 1 leg session a week to 2. Sometimes 3 if I was feeling particularly naughty, just to prepare my legs for the absolute battering they were going to take in March. And it definitely helped. Because I was running quite slow, I mainly focused on calf work because I had a bit of an Achilles problem back in February as well. So I went into the challenge not injured, but with a slight problem, but it wasn't too bad. And then just focused on keeping those strong and focus on doing gym work throughout the challenge as well. And doing all of that preparation in January and February really helped to carry me through the challenge. My legs weren't feeling it in those days, and that's because I'd been training and I'd gotten used to that mileage. So day 10 miles is quite a long run, and I was feeling okay after it and ready to go again the next day. So yeah, the main lesson from week 1 was preparation, which brings us on to week 2. Week 2 was 98 miles, and this week brought about one of the toughest days of the challenge, day 17. Day 17, more rain, fun. 17 miles, yeah, let's go. So that was meant to be my exit out, and it's closed. This is proving to be a very tough day. Right, day 17 done. That was one of, if not the hardest run I've ever done. I've done marathons, I've done longer than 17 miles, but that was tough. I haven't recorded a video since like mile 8. I just had to knuckle down and get moving because it didn't feel like it was ever going to end. Yeah, we took a few wrong turns, went through a few dead ends. What else did we do? Dropped the jacket off back at home, then it started raining again. My feet started to get wet. The paths were just puddles. Yeah, it was difficult. But we got there in the end. We pushed through. We're done. So that's 343 miles left now, and 14 days, so not long. So in that you can see I left like I was a Navy SEAL, with a hat, raincoat, little running vest on, joggers and, you know, blacked out waterproof trainers. Ran 4 miles, got boiling hot, came back home, changed into just t-shirt, shorts, and for some reason changed my trainers into like my white race trainers, which are just mesh. They just got holes on the top. They're not waterproof at all. I don't know why I changed into them. So I went back out in those, and then the sunshine that had come out turned into rain again. And also with this, I didn't plan the route properly. I went down through the nature reserve but took a different path that was full of puddles. My shoes got wrecked. It was tipping it down. It was cold. It was wet. It was a horrible day. Just a bit of context with that as well, with how muddy and puddle filled the paths were. On average, I'd do anywhere between 5 to 6 miles an hour. It took me 45 minutes to do 2 miles on this day, because I just had to keep stopping and running round the puddles, because I couldn't run through them because my feet would just get drenched because it would just soak through my shoes. And I'd been out for like 2 hours and I was only on 6 miles, and I had another 11 to go, and I didn't know if I was going to do it. I'd say this was the only day where I thought about stopping the run and then coming back out and doing it later. All the other days were tough and difficult, but I never really thought about quitting. In the last week, it was more about, I don't know if I'm going to be able to finish. I don't know if my body's going to break soon, because it's just not used to this. Going from, in November, 20-30k a week to 40k a day was tough, but day 17 was when I very nearly just went home and was going to come back out later and finish the run. Just long, and it was breaking me. It was probably one of the closest days I came to breaking point in the whole challenge. The weather was just a nightmare. And that brings me on to lesson number 2. Never, ever, ever, I mean this, trust the British weather. And I mean this with all my heart, because you can look on your phone and it will be clear blue skies. You can look outside and it'll be clear blue skies. But as soon as you get out there and you're out there for 25 minutes, it will tip it down with rain. Believe me. Look, prime example, day 15. Alright, day 15. I'm finally in something different than my black rain jacket. I really miss my rain jacket. I really miss it. Well, I decided to tip it down now. No, my top is so wet. I look ripped. I look ripped. The first day I didn't wear my black Nike rain jacket, which featured a lot, and you know, Nike, if you're listening, probably deserves a sponsorship. I literally say it's the first time I'm not wearing it, and then it absolutely tips it down. I was soaked, although one of the benefits was it made it look like I had abs. and muscles. I've never felt more confident on a run than that day, running around looking like that. I felt like a Greek god. And I'm going to tell you now, this is not the last time I'm going to complain about this weather, because trust me, it comes back. It comes back with a vengeance. But yeah, week 2, we were still coping fairly okay. Day 17, the last day of the week, was the closest that I'd come to breaking point, and it was the closest I came to breaking point throughout the whole challenge. Other than that, it was okay. Right then, week 3. 147 miles. Starting to get juicy now. So this is nearly a 50-mile increase from the previous week. And I just want you to bear in mind that at the start of week 3, we still weren't even halfway through the challenge in terms of miles. I think we reached halfway on day 22, which is the Friday of this week. So we still had like 340 miles, something like that, left at the start of week 3, which was ridiculous. So as you can imagine, 147 mile week, this is where things really started to heat up. This is where I started to get a few injuries, but the main problem was blisters. Yeah, I started to get one really big blister on my right foot, on my big toe, and it sort of like ballooned out like that, and it just kept growing every day. It was quite painful to run on, so we were having to tape that up and plaster that up, and having those injuries and the mental side of this week was tough. And this is where I started to realise that the challenge wasn't just a one-man band, and it brings me on to lesson number 3, and that's the importance of having a team. I had amazing support throughout this challenge. My girlfriend and the family and everyone was incredible. My girlfriend would help me out with taping up my blisters, help me with my injuries and exercises, keeping me going to the gym, you know, not going for like PBs and stuff, but like light recovery, just keep moving, stuff like that. She was incredible, because my feet were disgusting, so I don't know how she taped them up. I could have done it myself probably, but I kept messing up the tape and kept like bulging the tape, so she did it for me because I'm a little bit incompetent, but that's a different story. You know, people started joining me on bikes for sections of the runs just to keep me company, bring me some supplies, food, water, all of that jazz, and that really helped me keep going. Sometimes I was too tired or just having to focus on running and my running form, so I didn't smack my heels and stuff like that. But just having people talk at me, just occasionally words of support and encouragement, was incredible. And you know, having a group of people with you that are supporting you and keeping you going, it can't be undervalued, because it's incredible. I don't think I'd have been able to do the challenge without those people helping me through it, to be completely honest with you. They're all on bikes joining me, they're all helping me out. It also filters into the last week, you know, the last day I had people come up to run parts with me. I was never on my own really on the last day. You know, when you're doing something that you've never done before, having a team with you and supporting you is amazing. It also helps to keep you accountable, because if I was on my own, I would sometimes have a habit of stopping for 2-3 minutes and walking, whereas when I had people with me, I felt more like I had to run, so I'd stop a lot less and get the run done quicker. And I really started to get tired during this week. It was really starting to take a toll on me, as you can see in day 24. Right, day 24 is done. We've done 300 miles, we've got 196 left. I'm sat on my stairs again, because I've been sat on these stairs for about 15 minutes because I can't move. So this week's going to be fun. Yay. You can see that I'm just exhausted in that video. I was on those steps for like 45 minutes. I just could not gather the strength to walk up them. So having people around you to pick you up and encourage you to keep going. They're also posting the donations link, sharing it with everybody, which helped massively. So the main lesson from week 3, don't undervalue having a team. And before we move on to week 4, guess who's back to play with us again? The weather. Day 23 was a nightmare. Right, day 23, 23 miles, yeah. Let's go. I put a jumper on because the wind's cold. We've done 10 miles. I've got a half marathon left. Oh my god. It is hailing. Holy fuck. What the fuck? Why?
What the fuck?
Oi. Oi. Day 23 done. Eventful. We had all the winners, apart from snow. The weather made it difficult, but it was cool. Just we've done 266 and got 230 left. Sweet. It started sunny, then it went a bit rainy, then it went sunny again, then it hailed. It hailed on a Saturday morning. What the fuck? Why? And then it rained again. And then it ended sunny. It was a roller coaster. Day 23 was. It was mental. I can't believe I had hail. Look at them. Let's go back to that clip. They are bouncing off my head and chest. Look at them. Absolute liability. Week 4, 196 miles. So at this point, my feet and legs were starting to feel it big time. The first day was day 25, and then from then on, it was a marathon a day minimum. On day 26, I did 26.22 just to make it a marathon, just so I could say 6 marathons in 6 days, really. Just sounds a bit cooler, doesn't it? As I mentioned earlier with the blisters, my feet were taped up. I'll show you a picture now of my feet. Look at those bad boys, eh? Oh God. Why does my actual foot look so swollen? My left ankle looks massive. What the hell is going on there? Oh well, that was my feet in the last few days with the tape. I don't know if that's that bad for this amount of running, to be honest with you. Never seen anyone's feet before, so I don't know. But that was my feet, and they hurt. I started to get a lot of calf pain, where the first few miles were very difficult to get started. My legs were just stiff, and they just wouldn't move. It took a lot of energy to do the first loop, but running with my feet like that, and the amount of pain I was feeling in my legs, taught me the final lesson. You are capable of more than you think. For me personally, if I'd been on a run before December, I'd have just stopped at even the slightest pain. Day 17, I would have turned around, come back home and stopped, and just called off the challenge there and then. But I do think when you put it in your mind that you're not going to quit, you can just keep going. That my legs just kept moving. It never really a question from then on if I was going to quit or not. And when I did that, I actually started to enjoy the days a bit more. But being able to push those limits is the main reason I did the challenge. I wanted to have a cool story to tell when I was older. The thought to me of being like 90 years old and not having even a mildly cool or inspiring story wasn't something that I wanted. I just wanted a cool story to tell. I just want to fill my life with stories like that, really. I also always used to say cool things like this, or why don't we do this, why don't we do that, but then never really try. So when I said to do this on December 16th, I thought, well, go through with it then and actually see if you can do it. And more often than not, you can do more than you think you can. I didn't know if I was going to make it through this challenge, I'll be completely honest with you, but I did. It's just over 1 week on and I still haven't ran because my legs hurt still. That's also because I'm not an athlete. It's probably quite a lot for my calves to take when I only really started running last year. Before December, I'd only ever done 2 half marathons. So the thought of doing 6 marathons back to back with, another mile added on each day, ending with 31-mile run, was inconceivable to me. I don't really know why I thought I could do this. The final week, 196 miles, which was 315k, something like that. If we compare that to what I was doing last year, it took me until the end of April, start of May to get to the same amount of kilometers, and then this year I did that in a week. You just need to try. Just set a goal and try. If you fall short of it, who cares? You give it a go and you'd have gone further than if you didn't try. The goals that you want or what you dream of and what you desire isn't as far away as you think it is. It's just a few steps away, but you just need to try. And what's the harm in it? The main lesson from the final week is, don't just hold yourself to the limits that other people have put on you, or what you think of yourself. Because you think about it, where did they come from? Like, who just said that? Why do you think that? What evidence is there? Yeah, you might have failed a few times, but it doesn't mean you can't improve. Just keep trying. If it's something you really want, it will pay off eventually. I'm starting to sound like a preacher, aren't I? Make the difficult things fun. Turn them into a game. With running, I had podcasts or music, and especially with people joining me, it was just banter. Just having a chat with people, making jokes, stuff like that. It was just fun. It made the days go quicker. The last day went so quick. It was 5 hours 40 of running and like 6:40 with like breaks for food and toilet. But that didn't feel that long because people were joining me. The final week, which is the toughest thing I've ever done, was arguably one of the most fun things I've ever done as well, because I was proving to myself that I could do more than I thought, and I was achieving something difficult, and doing that was fun. Just give it a fucking go. Right guys, that rounds up all 4 weeks and all 4 lessons. Overall, this was a brilliant challenge. It was the toughest thing I've ever done. It was so much fun achieving something difficult and something that I didn't think I would ever be able to do. I found out some new things about myself, such as I love a Belgian waffle from Costco, and I had some absolutely brilliant people join me as well. And my final message to you would be, go challenge yourself, go try new things, go live life, and just do some cool shit, man. Day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, day 6, day 7, day 8, whatever enough, day 10, day 11, day 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, day 18, day 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, day 28, 29, day 30. Right, it's the final day. 31 miles left and then we're done. Oh my god. Well, that's nice, isn't it? Ooh, a pub.
Okay, I've got to do
Sport with her.
He's getting my breathing. Tell you what, I'd love a pizza.
Lovely weather.
This walk log is proper flipping about. Look at it. What comes this song?
I really miss my rain jacket.
So I'm running downhill and my butt is swinging from side to side. It's ridiculous.
Cool. That's how my legs hurt. Go. How you doing?
I forgot to put my bin out last night.